Hello, and welcome to Sharpening Her Edge. I'm Dr. Susan, and this is season 2, episode 3, Why High Achievers Struggle to Rest. So, short recap so you can follow what we're building. In episode 1, we talked about what happens after you realize you are overloaded. In episode 2, we talked about the version of you that can't come with you. In this episode, we talk about why high achievers struggle to rest. It's a natural progression. Number 1, we talked about awareness. Number 2, we talked about identity. And this one, we talk about capacity. So you might be asking yourself, if I'm letting go of the old version of me, why do I still feel guilty when I stop? And that's where I want this episode to land. So a couple things. 1, I'm not in my usual more professional wear today. I don't have my makeup on. I look like I just hopped out of the pool and my hair is just still drying, because it did. I'm trying to project and have you understand that it's okay to rest. It's okay to be you. It's okay to be authentically you and imperfect you. So, what if your ability to rest has nothing to do with your productivity and everything to do with your identity? Because I don't know very many successful women who have a problem working hard. I don't. We work hard, many times harder than our male counterparts to get to where we're at, especially for my friends and women of color. What I do see are brilliant women who have forgotten how to stop, even when they're exhausted, even when they know better, and even when their body is begging them to slow down. What I want to talk to you about today is why rest feels so uncomfortable for high achievers, and why learning to rest may be one of the most powerful leadership skills you'll ever develop. So, segment 1, we were rewarded for pushing. Many of us learned very early on that our value came from what we produced. Those of us in medicine who are our income is based on RVUs, it's all production. We eat what we kill. That's a really bad way to do it. We pushed hard. We got good grades. We had good performances. We had good results. We were dependable. We were being the one that everyone could count on. And over time, achievement stopped being something we did, but became who we were. The problem is, when your identity is tied to productivity, rest feels dangerous. It feels risky. It is certainly uncomfortable. Because if you're not producing, who are you? It's part 2. Rest feels like you're falling behind. One of the biggest lies that high performers believe in is, if I stop, everything will fall apart. So what do? We keep going. We answer emails at night. We solve problems nobody asked us to solve. We just didn't delegate them. We carry responsibilities that belong to other people, and we call it leadership. People underneath us might call it micromanaging. But often it's fear-based. We fear that if we lose momentum, because we all know that once you get momentum going, it's so much easier to keep it going than to get it going. We also may have that fear that will no longer matter. The irony, the more exhausted we become, the worse our decisions get. Part 3 to consider. Exhaustion is not a badge of honor. Somewhere along the way, burnout got normalized. Busy people, wear it like a status symbol, like a big badge or ribbon on your lanyard. But being overwhelmed is not evidence of importance. It's evidence that something needs attention. Your worth is not measured by how exhausted you are. Your value is not determined by how much you carry. And leadership isn't about proving how much pain you can tolerate. That one hits home. That one hits home a lot. So, short story before we talk about what rest actually does. I had to learn this the hard way. Isn't it amazing how we have real life lessons that we have to learn the hard way? Wouldn't it be nice if we could just learn it the easy way? But no, we have to learn it the hard way because we are overachievers. Anyways, after my first car accident, the one that disabled me, the one that I had a traumatic brain injury, facial injury, shoulder injury, neck injury, and had to learn so many things all over again. One of the things I had to learn was to just stop. I learned that naps were no longer a luxury, but an essential part of my existence. Brains need naps to heal and rewire. That was so not what I was used to. And now I get reminded if in the evening or late afternoon I'm tired, my speech gets worse. It takes me longer to process things. My family notices it. I notice it. Friends notice it. Sometimes even my students noticed it. I just tell them, look, I'm not drinking. If I slur, it's just because of the glitch that's in my brain. It just is. And I take it as a signal that I need to take a step back and take a nap. So let's talk about what does rest actually do. Rest is not the absence of productivity. Rest is what makes sustainable productivity possible. Rest improves creativity. Rest improves decision making. And it improves emotional regulation. With the TBI, it was really hard with the emotional swings, with my brain rewiring, my brain desperately trying to rewire. And I learned. Sometimes I just needed a nap. Sometimes it was a short nap. Sometimes it was a long nap. And now I just tell my family, hey, I'm taking off for a brain break. Cat follows me upstairs. She knows. She knows what that means. So we know that rest improves emotional regulation. And those of you who have family members who are neurodivergent know that. Brains process things differently, and the brain burns through so much energy. So if you're taking so much time to process things, whether it's ADD, whether it's autism, whether it's a TBI, listen to your body. The thing is, rest also creates space for clarity. And clarity is one of the most important assets a leader can have. And the women that I coach, and some men, really don't need more unrelenting hustle. They need more recovery and more margin and more grace and more breathing room. Because once the focus and capacity become clear, the path forward becomes illuminated. So, as I wind things up here, if rest feels uncomfortable, you're not broken. You may be simply operating from an old identity that believes your value has to be earned. But the new version of you that is emerging in this season, she understands things differently. She does. So let's listen to her. She knows that success isn't built by running harder and harder forever. You can't sprint a marathon. It's built by creating a life and business that actually sustains the woman leading it. This week, I want you to ask yourself, what am I afraid of? What am I afraid will happen if I truly rest? The answer might reveal more than you think. Until next time, this is Dr. Susan reminding you, you don't just need to bounce back. You can be intentional and bounce highest. If this resonated with you, please like, share, leave it a comment. I read all the comments. And tell a friend, subscribe. And in the comments, there will be a 2-minute quiz for you to take. It's free. It's going to talk about your invisible load, looking at your profile. What are you carrying that you don't need to? The insight gained from it can be immeasurable. So until next time, be well. Thanks for hopping on. And remember, every Thursday morning, a new episode drops of Sharpening Her Edge.